They're fast, efficient, and built to land where jets simply can't, all without draining your life savings. These are the top 7 cheapest turboprop aircraft you can buy in 2026. From legendary twin-engine classics to sleek single-pilot speed machines, each one delivers real turbine performance at a price that might genuinely surprise you. Number 7. The Piper Cheyenne II, the vintage twin that punches above its weight. We open with a name that carries genuine aviation heritage. The Piper Cheyenne II is a pressurized twin-engine turboprop aircraft that Piper Aircraft produced through the late 1970s and into the 1980s. It was built for an era when serious travelers demanded serious performance, and remarkably, this aircraft still delivers. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-28 engines, the Cheyenne II cruises at comfortably around 240 miles per hour. It carries up to 6 passengers in a pressurized, climate-controlled cabin and reaches altitudes up to 27,000 feet, above most turbulence, above most weather. Now here is where it gets genuinely interesting. As of early 2026, well-maintained examples of the Piper Cheyenne II are available in the pre-owned market starting at approximately $400,000 to $600,000. That is a twin-engine turboprop, 2 certified turbine engines for a price that some luxury SUVs command. And because Piper built well over 800 of these aircraft, parts and maintenance expertise are still widely available across the country. The important caveat: these are older airframes. Buying a Cheyenne requires a thorough pre-purchase inspection by a qualified King Air or turboprop specialist, and you will want to budget carefully for engine program enrollment and avionics modernization. But for the pilot who understands what they're getting, this aircraft represents turbine ownership at a threshold that was unthinkable a generation ago. Number 6. The Beechcraft King Air C90. 60 years of trusted performance. If the turboprop world had a Mount Rushmore, the Beechcraft King Air would occupy a prime position. Beechcraft, now operating under Textron Aviation, which is very much alive and well, has produced King Airs continuously since the 1960s. By last count, more than 7,800 of them have been delivered. It is the most widely flown business turboprop family in aviation history. The King Air C90, produced from 1971 through 1982, is the entry point into that legendary lineage. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-20 engines, the C90 cruises at approximately 222 knots, that's around 255 miles per hour, with a range approaching 940 miles and a cabin altitude ceiling of 30,000 feet. Now here is where it gets genuinely interesting. As of early 2026, Controller.com, one of the country's most active aircraft marketplaces, lists Beechcraft King Air C90s ranging from approximately $395,000 to $995,000, depending on total airframe time, engine hours remaining, and avionics configurations. The average pre-owned price lands around $720,000. One listing particularly worth noting, a 1981 C90 airframe with a completely modernized 2025 cockpit featuring dual Garmin GTN XI navigators and a GFC 600 autopilot, listed at $450,000. That is a genuinely impressive combination of heritage and modernity. What makes the King Air C90 so compelling isn't just the price, it's the support ecosystem. Parts are everywhere. Trained maintenance technicians are at virtually every major airport. Resale value holds reasonably well, and the flying qualities, smooth, predictable, authoritative, are everything you would expect from one of aviation's most proven designs.
Number 5. The Cessna 208 Caravan, the workhorse the world relies on. If you have ever taken a short hop charter flight in Alaska, flown with a mission aviation organization in a remote region, or simply spotted a wide-bodied single-engine turboprop on a regional ramp, you have almost certainly encountered the Cessna 208 Caravan. First certified in 1984 and still manufactured today under Textron Aviation's Cessna brand, this aircraft has compiled one of the most impressive operational track records in aviation history. More than 3,100 Caravans have been built. They fly for FedEx, they fly for regional charter operators, they fly for parachute clubs, medical evacuation teams, and missionary aviation programs in the most demanding environments on the planet. And yes, they are available on the pre-owned market at prices that may genuinely surprise you. According to Aircraft Blue Book data, an original 1985 Cessna 208 Caravan currently retails for approximately $650,000. Step up to a 2000 model Grand Caravan, and you're looking at around $1.07 million. Even more recent examples, say a well-equipped 2010 Grand Caravan, can be found in the $1.8 million range. Powered by a single Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-114A engine, producing 675 shaft horsepower, the Caravan carries up to 9 passengers with a pilot in a cabin that is notably wide and flexible. The aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight of 8,000 pounds, accesses unpaved and short-field runways that most aircraft cannot touch, and comes with the added confidence of over 4 decades of operational refinement. Operating costs? The Caravan is exceptionally economical for its class, estimated hourly costs in the range of $800 to $850 per hour under typical owner-operated conditions. For a pressurized turbine aircraft with this utility, that is a very competitive number. Number 4. The Piper Malibu Meridian, the gentleman's turboprop. Now we move into territory that genuinely blurs the line between high-performance turboprop and entry-level turbine luxury. The Piper Malibu Meridian, officially designated the PA46-500TP, was certified in the year 2000, and it represents Piper's elegant answer to a simple question. What if you took the beloved Malibu airframe, fitted it with a genuine Pratt & Whitney Canada turbine engine, and targeted the owner pilot who flies alone or with a small family? The result is one of the most comfortable single-engine turboprop aircraft ever built for personal use. The Meridian seats 5 passengers plus the pilot, pressurizes the cabin to a comfortable differential, cruises at approximately 261 knots, that is right around 300 miles per hour, and climbs to 30,000 feet. The range comes in at about 1,000 nautical miles fully fueled, meaning you can comfortably cross from New York to Chicago, Houston to Denver, or Los Angeles to Seattle non-stop. The pre-owned market for the Meridian as of early 2026 is genuinely attractive. Controller.com lists Meridians ranging from approximately $895,000 to $1.9 million, with older examples from the early 2000s available closer to $600,000 based on Aircraft Blue Book valuations. That is a pressurized single-pilot turbine aircraft flying on Jet A fuel at a price point that would have seemed impossible even 15 years ago. One important note, the Meridian shares its engine, the PT6A-42A, rated at 500 shaft horsepower, with the more modern Piper M500, which we will discuss shortly. That engine commonality means an exceptionally well-developed support network and readily available expertise. If the Meridian appeals to you, look for examples with modern Garmin avionics upgrades and enrollment in an engine maintenance program, both factors that dramatically smooth out the ownership experience. This is a natural moment to pause the aircraft tour for just a moment. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the turboprop world, the facts, the figures, and the real market data, we want to ask you kindly, please consider subscribing to Luxury Aloft. We publish content like this specifically for viewers who appreciate accuracy, depth, and presentation that respects your intelligence. Hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a single video from us. And with that, let's count down the final 3.
Number 3. The Piper M500, Modern turboprop, attainable price. The Piper M500 is in many ways the evolution of the Meridian we just discussed, and it represents the sweet spot of the modern single-engine turboprop market for an owner pilot who wants 21st century avionics without a 21st century price tag on a new aircraft. Certified by the FAA in 2016 and manufactured at Piper Aircraft's Vero Beach, Florida facility, the M500 carries the same PT6A-42A engine and the same essential airframe as its predecessor, but wraps it in the Garmin G10000 NXI avionics suite with the GFC 700 autopilot. Electronic stability and protection is standard. The aircraft is single-pilot capable and pressurized, carrying 5 passengers at up to 260 knots, a full 300 miles per hour, with a range of 950 nautical miles and a service ceiling of 30,000 feet. In the pre-owned market as of early 2026, used Piper M500s are listed on Controller.com, ranging from approximately $1.74 million to $2.3 million, with Aircraft Blue Book pegging a 2016 example at around $1.6 million and more recent models approaching $2.4 million. New 2026 M500s are available from Piper at approximately $2.4 million, meaning that a 2- or 3-year-old example offers genuinely significant savings. The M500's operating economics are compelling. Estimated at roughly $1,450 per hour for owner-operated use, it is among the most fuel-efficient pressurized turbines available. For the owner pilot who flies 200 to 400 hours per year and wants to feel the quiet confidence of a Garmin glass cockpit from a trusted American manufacturer, the M500 earns serious consideration.
Number 2. The Beechcraft King Air C90B, the modern classic. We return to the King Air family for our runner-up, and this time we are looking at a significantly more refined aircraft than the vintage C90 we discussed earlier. The Beechcraft King Air C90B was produced from 1992 through 2005, and it represents a genuinely mature, modern-feeling twin-engine turboprop at a price that, by the standards of this class, remains accessible. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-21 engines, the C90B cruises at approximately 234 knots, close to 270 miles per hour, with a service ceiling of 30,000 feet and a pressurized cabin designed for up to 5 passengers in genuine comfort. The airframe is wider and more refined than the original C90, and aircraft from this era frequently carry upgraded avionics packages, Garmin G1000 installations, for example, that make them feel far more contemporary than their years might suggest. On the current market, Controller.com lists King Air C90Bs ranging from approximately $995,000 to $2.85 million, with the average pre-owned example landing near $1.9 million. That spread is wide, and deliberately so. A lower-time, well-equipped 2000 model C90B with fresh phase inspections and modern avionics represents an exceptional value in the twin-engine turboprop market, particularly when you consider that the King Air 350, a newer, larger sibling in the same family, routinely sells for well north of $5 million. What makes the C90B so compelling as a number 2 on this list is the total ownership package. You have twin-engine redundancy, always a reassuring quality. You have Beechcraft's legendary build quality. You have access to the worldwide King Air service network, arguably the most comprehensive support infrastructure for any aircraft in its class. And you have an aircraft that, flown conservatively and maintained properly, can serve an owner for decades. For the buyer who wants to arrive somewhere saying something, the King Air does that quietly, effortlessly, and with unmistakable authority.
Number 1. The Daher TBM 700, the entry to speed. And here we are, number 1 on our countdown, and perhaps the most fascinating aircraft on this entire list. The TBM 700 is where turboprop performance crosses into genuinely startling territory. This aircraft was originally developed through a collaboration between the French manufacturer Socada and American company Mooney Aircraft, first flying in 1988 and entering service in 1991. Today, it sits under the ownership of Daher, the world's oldest continuously operating aircraft manufacturer, which is based in France and very much active in the market. The TBM 700 is a pressurized single-engine turboprop, but do not let that description underestimate it. Powered by a Pratt & Whitney Canada PT6A-64 engine, the aircraft cruises at approximately 295 to 300 knots, that's 340 miles per hour. It climbs to 31,000 feet. It carries 5 passengers in a pressurized cabin and has a seats full range approaching 1,000 nautical miles. By virtually every performance metric, the TBM 700 competes with, and in many cases outpaces, entry-level light jets that cost 3 to 4 times as much to purchase. And the price today? As of April 2026, Controller.com lists pre-owned TBM 700s from approximately $999,900 to $1.85 million, depending on vintage, total airframe hours, and avionics configuration. The earlier variants, TBM 700 series from the mid to late 1990s, can be found toward the lower end of that range. Aircraft Blue Book data supports an average pre-owned TBM 700 C2 value of approximately $1.66 million. For that price, you're getting an aircraft that genuinely redefined what a personal turboprop could be. The cabin, while not the widest in the class, is pressurized and comfortable. The avionics on later examples, many now upgraded to Garmin glass panels, are excellent, and the Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine family that powers this aircraft is among the most proven turbine power plants in the history of aviation, with a global support network that virtually guarantees you will never be stranded for parts. And the operating economics tell a similarly compelling story. Hourly costs for the TBM 700 run in the range of $1,600 to $1,700 under typical owner-operated conditions. Yes, somewhat higher than the single-engine Caravan or Meridian, but compare that to an entry-level light jet, which routinely costs $2,500 to $3,500 per hour to operate, and the TBM 700's value proposition becomes almost impossible to argue with. You're getting jet competitive speed at a fraction of jet-level operating expense. The TBM 700 does carry a reputation for demanding a disciplined, well-trained pilot. This is a fast aircraft, and speed in aviation demands respect. The FAA has established a special training and currency program for TBM aircraft, something to factor into your decision. But for the experienced pilot prepared to invest in that training, this aircraft is genuinely transformative. Owning a TBM 700 is not simply owning an airplane, it is owning the fastest single-engine turboprop in its price range, a machine that covers ground with a confidence and authority that its used price simply does not suggest.
The market we have walked through today tells a fascinating story. Used jet and turboprop prices have been trending sideways over the past year, as industry publications noted in late 2025, even as pre-owned inventory levels have dipped by more than 15% year over year. That combination of stable prices and tightening supply suggests that the window for finding excellent value in the pre-owned turboprop market, while it remains open, may not stay that way indefinitely. On the new aircraft side, manufacturers like Piper continue to develop the M-Class family, including the M700 Fury, a next-generation pressurized turboprop with Garmin Autoland capability now entering the market. Daher continues expanding deliveries of its TBM and Kodiak lines, with the Kodiak 900, a larger, faster evolution of the Kodiak 100, representing an exciting new chapter. And Pilatus remains at the top of the single-engine turboprop world with the PC-12 NGX, priced well above today's list, but representing the aspirational benchmark that shapes the entire segment. For buyers looking at the used market in 2026, the value proposition for turboprop ownership has rarely been stronger, and the variety of aircraft available at genuinely accessible price points is a direct result of decades of production by companies who built these machines to last. And that brings us to the runway's end, at least for today. From the venerable Piper Cheyenne II to the landmark TBM 700, what today's list illustrates so compellingly is that turbine flying is no longer the exclusive preserve of corporations and the ultra-wealthy. Thoughtful buyers, armed with the right information and a thorough pre-purchase process, can step into a genuine, pressurized Jet A burning turboprop for a price that, by the standards of this category, feels almost modest. Thank you for spending this time with us here at Luxury Aloft. We base our content on thorough research, verified market data, and a deep respect for this audience's intelligence. If you found today's information useful, please share it with a fellow aviation enthusiast and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We would genuinely love to know which of these 7 aircraft interests you the most and why. Until next time, blue skies, smooth air, and tailwinds all the way.